I never thought family could carve you open like a holiday turkey and serve you up for laughs. But there I was, Mackenzie Hale, the black sheep who'd already bled for them once, catching every vicious word through the crack in the door. It started with my brother Jake's voice, slick as eggnog spiked with spite. "We'll get her good this time. Post the video of her meltdown from last year. Tag every relative. Watch her crumble in front of the whole damn town." And then my mother, the queen of passive-aggressive fruitcakes, chimed in with a giggle that sliced deeper than any knife. "She deserves it, after what she did to us, taking the fall like that. Time she paid in public shame." That was hook one, the raw gut punch of realizing your own blood plotted your downfall over mulled wine and mistletoe. Hook two hit when I remembered the fall they meant, the one I'd taken 5 years ago, confessing to embezzling from Dad's construction firm to shield Jake, my golden boy brother, who'd actually siphoned the cash for his coke habit and bad bets. I'd done 3 months in county lockup, lost my nursing job, and watched my life splinter like cheap ornaments under a heel, all while they patted me on the back and whispered prayers at my arraignment. Hook 3? The coldest one. As I stood there in the hallway of our family's sprawling McMansion in suburban Denver, the scent of pine and cinnamon mocking my nausea, I knew this Christmas Eve eavesdrop wasn't just gossip. It was war. They weren't humiliating me for sport. It was erasure, a final wipeout to bury the secret I'd carried like a noose. But secrets have a way of rotting from the inside, and mine? It was about to bloom into something biblical. I'd always been the fixer in the Hale family, the one who taped up the cracks while everyone else posed for the Christmas card photo. Growing up in this cookie-cutter neighborhood of faux adobe roofs and overachieving lawns, where every driveway boasted a lifted Ford F-150 and every garage had a life half-lived, I learned early that loyalty meant swallowing shards. Dad built Hale Construction from nothing after Vietnam, turning dusty lots into strip malls that dotted the Front Range like ugly stars. Mom ran the PDA like a cartel, her smile a weapon sharper than her tongue. Jake? He was the heir, the charmer with the jawline that got him out of DUIs and the wink that melted sorority girls. Me? Mackenzie, the quiet one with the steady hands from years of stitching up neighbors' kids at the ER, I was the shadow who made sure the lights stayed on. It started unraveling senior year of high school, when Jake got mixed up with some low-rent crew from Aurora dealing in more than just pot. He was 22, fresh out of community college with a business degree he never used, crashing at home while Dad bankrolled his entrepreneurial ventures. One night, after too many shots at a dive bar off Colfax, he confessed to me in the garage, reeking of Jack and desperation. He'd cooked the books on a subcontract, funneling $50,000 into a horse that never crossed the finish line. The feds were sniffing around. IRS audits don't care about family ties. Kenzie, you're good with numbers, right? Nurses are detail-oriented. Just a few entries. Say it was you, for tuition or whatever. I'll pay it back, swear on Mom's Bible. I laughed it off at first, thinking it was the booze talking. But Jake didn't laugh. He cried, big, heaving sobs that echoed off the tool benches. And then he laid out the dominoes. Dad's firm underwater from the '08 crash, Mom's cancer treatments eating the savings, my own dreams of med school dangling by a thread on scholarships I couldn't afford to lose. You're the strong one, sis. The one who holds it together. So I did it. Forged the signatures, wired the funds through my name. Took the plea deal when the hammer fell. 3 months in Jefferson County Jail wasn't hell. It was limbo, fluorescent lights buzzing like angry hornets. Women with eyes like broken glass sharing stories of men who'd promised the world and delivered chains. I emerged 15 pounds lighter, with a record that barred me from every hospital in the state. But the family? They threw a welcome-home barbecue. Jake grilling ribs like nothing happened, Dad clapping my shoulder with a gruff. Proud of you for owning up, kiddo. That was the first betrayal, the one I swallowed with a smile and a side of potato salad. But secrets fester, especially in a town where everyone knows your business before you do. I rebuilt in scraps, waitressing at a greasy spoon off I-70, then landing shifts at a free clinic in 5 Points, bandaging bullet holes for folks who'd never see the inside of a courtroom. Jake? He climbed, parlaying Dad's connections into a real estate flip, marrying Emily, the Pilates instructor with the trust fund and the laugh like wind chimes. They had twins now, little blonde cherubs named after founding fathers. And every holiday, Our family converged on the old homestead like migratory birds, pecking at old wounds under the guise of cheer. This year, Christmas Eve, I'd driven up from my shoebox apartment in Lodo, the city lights blurring into tinsel as doubt gnawed at my gut. Mom had called 2 weeks prior, voice honeyed with urgency. Family tradition, Kinsey. No excuses. Jake's got big news. Could change everything for us Hales. I arrived late, snow dusting my beater Civic like powdered sugar on a corpse, and slipped in through the side door to avoid the fuss. That's when I heard it. The murmur from the study. Door ajar just enough for the laptop's glow to spill like spilled secrets. Jake's plan was surgical, born of that same cunning that got him out of the embezzlement scrape. The video from her arrest, remember? Cops dragging her out in cuffs, screaming about innocence. We deepfake it a bit, make it look like she's ranting about us, post it to the neighborhood Facebook group, the alumni page. Hell, even tag the local news. Caption, Hale family fraudster tries comeback. Don't let her near your wallet. By morning, she'll be radioactive. No more mooching off dad's goodwill. No more showing up to holidays like she belongs. Emily tittered, her voice a flute of malice. And the clinic? They'll fire her ass. Poetic, right? She took the fall once. Now she takes the whole damn plummet. Mom, ever the enabler, added the venom. It's mercy, really. She's been dragging us down since she got out. Time she learned consequences. I pressed my palm to my mouth to stifle the bile, heart hammering like a jackrabbit in headlights. Dragging them down. I'd carried their sins on my back for half a decade, lied to judges, lost friends, woken from nightmares where the cell door clanged shut forever. And now for what? Jake's big news was probably another flip, another loan from dad to paper over his latest screw-up. I backed away, boots silent on the Persian rug, and retreated to the guest room upstairs, where the twin bed sagged under ghosts of childhood Christmases. Sleep? Not a chance. Adrenaline coursed like bad coffee, sharpening every sense. I pulled out my phone, fingers flying over the screen, old habits from the clinic, where you'd Google symptoms at 3 a.m. to cheat death. First, I confirmed the video. Yeah, body cam footage leaked years ago, me in orange, wild-eyed and pleading. Deepfaking it. Child's play these days. Apps on the dark web could swap faces faster than you could say ho ho ho. Their plan wasn't just humiliation. It was annihilation, designed to isolate me from the fragile threads of normalcy I'd woven. But I wasn't the girl who'd confessed anymore. Jail teaches you chess, not checkers. By dawn, as the house stirred with the clatter of stockings and cinnamon rolls, I'd outlined my counter-move. Not rash, not bloody, something elegant, American as apple pie laced with arsenic. Revenge isn't about the swing. It's about the setup, the slow unraveling that leaves them questioning if they ever knew the board. Step 1. Documentation. I'd kept everything. The forged ledgers on a thumb drive hidden in my apartment, emails from Jake begging for the cover, even a recorded call from 2 years back where he laughed about our little family secret over beers. Water under the bridge? Hell no. I'd digitized it all, timestamps pristine, ready to deploy like digital confetti at a funeral. Step 2. Allies. In the clinic, I'd met Rosa, a paralegal with a grudge against white-collar crooks and a side hustle in PI work. Texted her at 4 a.m. Need dirt on Jake Hale. Fast. Pay whatever. By noon, she'd pinged back with gold. Jake's offshore account in the Caymans, funneled through a shell company tied to Dad's firm. Not just the old embezzlement. Fresh tracks. $200,000 skimmed last quarter for a Vegas bender that left Emily with bruises she hid under cashmere. Step 3. The stage. Christmas dinner, the annual spectacle in the dining room with its vaulted ceilings and crystal that caught the firelight like lies. 20 relatives, from Uncle Ted the cop to Cousin Lila the influencer, all primed for turkey and tall tales. I'd play the part. Meek Mackenzie, laughing at Jake's jokes, complimenting Mom's pie, until the pie course, when I'd drop the mic. But as the day wore on, doubt crept in like chimney smoke. Was this justice, or just trading one poison for another? Jake was a snake, sure, but he was blood. The brother who'd taught me to ride a bike, shared midnight confessions under the stars. And Mom. Her cancer had come back last spring. The mercy they plotted was laced with fear I'd expose them all and leave her chemo bills unpaid. I pushed it down, focusing on the prep, slipping Rose's files onto a burner laptop, scripting an anonymous post to the same channels they targeted, neighborhood groups, alumni feeds, even a tip line for the Denver Post. By evening, the house thrummed with forced jollity. Kids tore into gifts, squealing over iPads and drones, while adults nursed eggnog that hit like a freight train. I sat at the kids' table, always had, even at 28, picking at green bean casserole, watching Jake hold court at the head, his arm around Emily like a trophy. Big announcement tonight, folks, he teased, winking at Dad. Hale Construction's going national, me at the helm. Dad beamed, pride swelling his belly. That's my boy. My fork scraped the plate, nails on chalkboard silent. When dessert hit, I excused myself to the powder room, actually ducking into the study to hit send. The Post went live, Hale family heist. How Jake Hale robbed his own kin and let sister take the fall. Evidence inside. Links to scans, recordings, the works. No byline, just facts sharp as icicles. Back in the dining room, phones buzzed like hornets. Aunt Karen gasped first. What in God's name? Jake's face drained to ash as he scrolled, Emily's manicure digging into his thigh. Mom clutched her pearls, eyes darting to me. Accusation? Fear? Dad slammed his fist, bellowing. Who the hell leaked this? I met Jake's gaze across the turkey carcass, my smile small and sharp. Merry Christmas, brother. Looks like the joke's on you. Chaos erupted. Shouts. Tears. Uncle Ted muttering about warrants. Jake lunged toward me, but Dad held him back, face thunderous. Kenzie, did you? Not a word, I said, voice steady as the clinic's EKG beeps. But if you'd planned to air my dirty laundry, figured fair's fair. Emily wailed, kids crying in confusion. Mom collapsed into a chair, whispering, You ruined us. After everything. Everything. The word hung like smoke. As sirens wailed distant, someone must have called the cops. I slipped out the back, snow crunching underfoot, the cold a balm on my burning skin. Revenge tasted like victory, bitter and sweet. But as I drove into the night, Denver's skyline a jagged halo, I wondered, had I freed myself, or just chained us all tighter? That was the spark. The fire? It came later, when the fallout hit like a blizzard. The days after Christmas blurred into a wideout of recriminations and revelations, the kind that turned family into fault lines. I holed up in my Lodo apartment, a third-floor walk-up over a taqueria that pumped out salsa beats till midnight, the walls thin enough to hear my neighbors' arguments bleed into mine. My phone was a minefield, voicemails from Mom, each more hysterical, pleading for one call, Kinsey, to explain. Jake's texts escalated from rage, you bitch, you'll pay, to wheedling, sis, we can fix this, lawyer up together. Dad, radio silence, which cut deepest, a void where his gruff approval used to echo. Rosa called on the 27th, her voice gravelly from chain-smoking camels. Girl, you lit a match in a powder keg. Posts viral, over 5K shares, comments like a coliseum. Denver Post picked it up, they're running a feature tomorrow. Jake's lawyered up with the firm that defended Enron wannabes, but the Cayman's account? Frozen. Feds are circling. I paced the linoleum, cat's scratching post toppled in my wake. Whiskers, my tabby rescue from the clinic's alley, eyed me warily. And me? Am I clear? Crystal, you were the fall guy. Victim, not perp. But heads up, Jake's spinning it. Leaked an affidavit to his buddies at the DA's office, claiming you coerced him into the cover-up. Emotional abuse, he says. Sister with a grudge. Coerced? The word ignited fresh fury. I'd have laughed if it didn't ache. Instead, I brewed coffee black as my mood and scrolled the feeds. The neighborhood group was a dumpster fire. Always knew that Hale Girl was trouble. Now the whole family's rotten. Mixed with poor Mackenzie, taking the hit for her junkie brother. Justice for Kenzie. Split right down the middle, readers picking teams like it was the Broncos versus Raiders. Some hailed me hero, others harpy, destroying the family for spite on Jesus' birthday. That split? It mirrored the one in my gut. Nights. I'd replay the dinner, Jake's eyes bulging like a cartoon villain's, Mom's whisper cracking like thin ice. Had I gone too far? Exposing them saved me from their video trap? Sure, but at what cost? The clinic put me on leave, pending investigation. They said, HR's euphemism for don't come in till the stink clears. My landlord texted about disturbances, code for nosy busybodies snapping pics from the fire escape. By New Year's, The pressure cooker whistled. Jake showed up unannounced, pounding on my door at dusk, snow devils swirling around his Audi like omens. I peered through the peephole, his face gaunt, stubble silvered, the charmer reduced to a cornered rat. Against my better judgment, I cracked the door, chain still latched. "What the fuck, Kenzie?" he hissed, breath fogging the gap. "You tanked everything. Emily's talking divorce. Dad's firm is hemorrhaging clients. Hell, even the twins asked why Annie McKenzie hates us." I leaned against the frame, arms crossed over my scrub top. Old habits die hard. "Hate? Try survival, Jake. I overheard you that night, plotting my public crucifixion over spiked cider. Deepfake my arrest vid? Tag the world? That's not family. That's a hit job." He raked fingers through his hair, eyes darting like he expected paparazzi in the hall. It was a bluff. Heat of the moment. Emily's idea, really. She's been on my case about money, the business. Thought scaring you off would buy time. Time for what? Another skim? Rose's files show you've been at it since the twins were born. Nannies, private schools, that cabin in Vale. Dad's legacy, poached one wire at a time. His jaw clenched, that old Hale stubbornness flaring. "You think you're saintly? You dropped the bomb at dinner, in front of everyone, kids included. Mom had a panic attack, ended up in the ER. Docs say stress triggered it. Guilt lanced me, sharp as a scalpel. Mom's cancer, stage 2 last scan, chemo zapping her like lightning. I'd known, buried it under the rage. She plotted with you," I said, voice thin. Laughed about it. "She's scared, Kenzie. Of losing the house, the life. We're all scared." He softened, pressing his palm to the chain like a plea. "Let me in. Talk this out. We can retract the post, say it was a hack. Family sticks together, right? Like always." Always. The word dangled, bait on a hook. I unlatched the chain, stepping back. Not from forgiveness, but curiosity. What fresh con was this? He entered like a supplicant, shedding his Burberry coat on the futon, eyeing whiskers with distaste. We sat at my thrift store table, mugs of instant steaming between us, the taqueria's mariachi wailing faintly below. It poured out then, Jake's confessional flood. Not excuses, truths, or close enough. The embezzlement? Started small, a loan for Mom's first treatments, back when Dad was drowning in liens. I meant to pay it back, flips were hot then. But the market tanked, and Coke helped with the edges, numbed the panic. Emily knew, egged him on. Her daddy's girl, raised on country club greens, whispering he'd never measure up without the shine. The recent schemes? Desperation. COVID gutted the firm, clients bailing for cheaper outfits in Texas. "I covered for you once." Bullshit. You chose it, Kenzie. To play martyr, keep us all in your debt. That stung, a mirror to my own doubts. Had I? The confession, the jail time. It fed something in me, a twisted nobility that let me lord silent power over them. And the plan? To humiliate me. He shrugged, defeated. Emily's revenge porn fantasy. She hates you. Says you're the real threat, the one Dad listens to. Thought breaking you would. I don't know, make us solid. We talked till the small hours, snow piling silent outside, forging an uneasy truce. I'd pull the files, testify it was misunderstanding, sibling rivalry gone viral. In return, he'd come clean to Dad, enter rehab, repay every cent. Emily? Out of the loop, or out altogether. It felt like absolution, a Christmas miracle wrapped in regret. But Jake was Hale through and through, cunning as a fox in a henhouse. As he hugged me goodbye, stubble scratching my cheek, I felt the shift, that flip in his eyes. 2 days later, Rose's alert pinged. Jake's affidavit filed, painting me as the mastermind. Coercion via threats, it claimed. Mackenzie Hale orchestrated the original fraud, used family ties to entrap me. Attached, a recording, my voice, from that garage night, saying, "I'll handle it, Jake. Just this once." Doctored, spliced with added venom, but damning. The betrayal landed like a sucker punch. He'd played me, turned my olive branch into a noose. Worse, Mom called that afternoon, voice frail over the line. "He told me everything, Kenzie. How you forced him. Come home. We'll fight this together." Together. The word twisted, revealing the web. Jake hadn't just flipped. He'd woven me back in, the scapegoat reloaded. Emily was the puppet, Mom the enabler, Dad the blind bull. And me? The fool who'd almost bought the sequel. Rage rebuilt, brick by venomous brick. No more half measures. This time, the revenge would be total, not a spark, but a bonfire. I texted Rosa, double down. Full expose, including Mom's complicity. Then, the real play, a meeting with Dad, alone. No ambushes, just truth, served cold as January wind. I drove up on the 5th, the Rockies etched white against a bruised sky, my Civic rattling like bones. The McMansion loomed, holiday lights dark now, a husk. Dad answered the door in flannel and slippers, eyes hollowed by betrayal. "Kinsey, come to gloat." "No, Dad. To bury it." We sat in the den, fire crackling low, scotch poured neat. His ritual for bad days. I laid it out. The original fraud, Jake's tracks, the spliced tape. Proof in folders, timelines etched like scars. He listened, glass trembling, face crumpling when I hit the Christmas plot. "Christ," he muttered, slamming the tumbler. "My boy. And your mother?" She knew. Approved. The admission hung, heavy as lead. He wept then, raw, shoulder-shaking sobs I'd never seen, not even at Grandma's funeral. "I failed you all," he choked. "Pushed too hard, saw what I wanted." We forged a pact there, father and daughter against the storm. He'd confront them, Jake to the feds, Emily out, Mom to counseling. The firm? Sold, proceeds to restitution. Me? Cleared, with a letter from him vouching for the clinic. It felt like mending, threads rewoven. But as I left, Dad's grip on my arm lingered. "You're the spine, Kenzie. Always were." Spine. The word echoed as I hit the highway, city lights beckoning. Victory? Close enough. Till the twist, the call from Rosa at midnight. Check the news. Jake's missing. Last seen at the cabin. And get this. Emily's filing for sole custody, claiming you're a danger to the kids. Missing. The word chilled deeper than snow. Had I pushed too far? Or was this Jake's final flip, a disappearance to dodge the news? The bonfire roared on, consuming certainties. And in its glow, I saw the truth. Revenge doesn't end. It evolves, leaving ashes where homes once stood. January thawed into February's fall spring, but the cold in my veins lingered like frostbite. Jake's vanishing act dominated the feeds. Local businessman flees fraud scandal, splashed across the Post's front page, his smiling headshot mocking from billboards he'd once funded. The cabin in Vale? Ransacked, per the sheriff's report. Drawers yanked, safe cracked, a single cufflink left on the bearskin rug like a taunt. Emily played the grieving widow on local TV, tears streaked in cashmere, cooing about my rock, taken too soon by family betrayal. Subtext? Me, the villainess who'd driven him to desperation. Cops knocked on my door twice. Routine, they said, but their eyes lingered on the cat scratches on my arms like evidence. "Heard you two had words New Year's," the younger one probed, notepad poised. I kept it cool, nurse's poker face. "Words? Try threats." He faked a tape to frame me. Again. They left unsatisfied, but the neighborhood watch revved up, cars slow rolling past my building, headlights probing like fingers. Dad called daily, voice frayed as old wiring. Found his passport gone, Kinsey. Mexico maybe. Or worse. Worse meant the dark whispers. Suicide, staged to spite us. Mom. Institutionalized voluntarily, sedated Hayes at a facility in Boulder, her condition exacerbated by familial stress. Translation, my doing. The twins shuttled to Emily's McMansion, nannies on speed dial, her custody petition a 50-page screed painting me as unstable aunt with vendetta. Rosa became my lifeline, her PI digs uncovering Emily's underbelly. Not just a Pilates princess, but a scammer in Lululemon who'd met Jake at a Ponzi seminar in Scottsdale, luring him into flips that were fronts for her daddy's laundering. "She's the brains," Rosa growled over burner phones. Jake was the frontman, charming dupe. "Your expose?" Hit her wallet hardest. Empowered, I countered, anonymous tips to child services about Emily's lifestyle, backed by Rosa's photos of baggies in her glove box. The clinic reinstated me mid-month, HR mumbling about cleared records, and I dove back in, sutures and sympathy, a rhythm that drowned the noise. Patients didn't care about scandals. They cared about pain eased, lives stitched. But the tension coiled, a spring under pressure. Late shifts blurred into dawn patrols, me driving aimless loops through 5 points, jazz from speakeasies seeping into my vents. One night, Parked under a viaduct where the homeless huddled like forgotten gifts, I spotted him, or thought I did. A silhouette in a Broncos hoodie, ducking into an alley, gait loping like Jake's. Heart slamming. I tailed on foot, boots splashing puddles, the city a labyrinth of graffiti and regret. "Jake," I hissed, rounding the corner. But it was a stranger, tweaker with hollow eyes, flinching at my voice. "Lady, wrong guy." He bolted, leaving me panting against brick, the chase a metaphor for our dance. Always one step behind, shadows chasing shadows. Dad's confrontation came the 14th, Valentine's Day irony thick as heart-shaped chocolates. He summoned Emily to the house, neutral ground, he said, fire roaring against the chill. I wasn't invited, but Rosa staked out from a coffee shop across the street, Liv texting the drama. "She's lawyered to the hilt," Rosa pinged. "Denying everything. Says Jake's fled because of you." Dad's voice boomed through the cracked window. "Enough lies, Em. The accounts, the schemes, it's over. Sign the papers. Walk with dignity." Her reply? A shriek, then sobs. Dignity? That which Mackenzie destroyed us. Posted those lies, drove him away. The kids, they ask for their daddy, and it's her fault. Dad's paws stretched, a chasm. Then, softer, "My daughter saved this family once. You've bled it dry." Sirens wailed distant. "Cops again?" "No, just the city's pulse." Emily stormed out minutes later, heels clicking fury on the walk, piling into her Range Rover with a glare that could curdle milk. Rosa's follow-up, Dad's filing for emergency custody. "Your name on the petition as co-guardian." Co-guardian. The word warmed, a flicker in the gloom. But trust? Shattered glass doesn't glue clean. The climax brewed that weekend, a family summit Dad insisted on, neutral turf, a conference room downtown rented by the hour. Mom discharged, fragile as rice paper. Emily under duress. Me, armored in resolve. Dad presiding like a judge in flannel. The twins absent, mercifully, with a sitter. It started civil. Coffees poured, agendas skimmed. Dad laid ground rules. Truth, no venom. Then opened the floor. Mom went first, hands twisting Kleenex. I knew about Jake's troubles. Enabled, God forgive me. The Christmas plan? Foolish spite. But you, Kinsey, exposing us like that? In front of the babies? Spite. Emily snapped, nails drumming laminate. It was self-defense. Your precious Mackenzie's been blackmailing us for years, subtle threats. I know what you did. Lies layered thick. I leaned forward, voice level. Blackmail? Try survival. You plotted my ruin. Deep fake, public shaming. I defended myself. Jake's absence loomed, a ghost at the table. Dad probed Emily. Where is he? Really? Her eyes darted. First tell. I don't know. Said he needed space, then poof. Bullshit. Rosa's latest. Pings from a burner cell in Juarez. Jake's alias on a coyote's manifest. Fleeing south, but to what? Fresh start, or deeper grave? Tension peaked when Mom, voice quavering, dropped the bomb. He left a note, before vanishing. For you, Kinsey. She slid an envelope across, my name in his scrawl. I tore it open, heart thudding. Inside, sis, you win. Always the fixer. But fixing breaks things. Tell the boys daddy loves them. Burn this. No apology, no plea. Just finality, ink smudged like tears. Emily snatched it, scanning, then crumpled it with a howl. Loves them. He abandoned us. Because of her. The room fractured then. Mom defending Jake's weakness. Emily railing at my cruelty. Dad pounding the table for order. Me? Silent. The note burning in my pocket. Controversial decisions? This was the vortex. Forgive and fracture further, or press, risking the twins' world? I chose press. Emily, the baggies. Cops have them now. Custody? You'll lose if you lie. Bluff, half true. Rosa's tips planted, but no warrant yet. She flipped, faces cycling, victim to Viper. You think you're better? Nurse by day, destroyer by night. Jake told me everything. How you enjoyed the power, the jail time a badge. Power? The accusation landed, stirring the mud. Had I? The martyr's glow. Yes, but enjoyment? No. Yet doubt seeded, splitting me from myself. Dad ended it. Enough. Emily, papers by Friday. Mom, therapy. Kinsey, thank you. Dispersal like shrapnel, each exiting a different wound. Outside, rain slicked the streets, neon bleeding into gutters. I walked blocks, note clutched, the city's hum a dirge. Victory? Pyrrhic, ashes in my mouth. Jake's words echoed. Fixing breaks things. And as Emily's taillights faded, I wondered if the real humiliation was mine. Chasing ghosts, avenging phantoms, in a family too broken for mending. But the twist loomed, coiled in the shadows. Rosa texted as I reached my car. Got a hit. Jake's not fleeing. He's coming back, with backup. Backup. The word chilled. What fresh hell? March roared in like a lion with a grudge, winds howling off the plains, uprooting the fragile peace I'd clawed from the wreckage. Rosa's backup, intel crystallized over encrypted drops. Jake hadn't bolted south for escape. He'd gone recruiting. Old crew from his coke days. Aurora heavies with rap sheets longer than Colfax Avenue. Names like Tito and Razor inked into Vice Squad files. Pings traced him to a motel in Pueblo, holed up with burner laptops and bad intentions. Revenge tour, Rosa warned. He's painting you as the big bad, rallying them to protect the family. Emily's in on it. Texts show her wiring cash. Protect? The irony curdled. I briefed Dad over takeout lo mein in his den, the TV droning Broncos highlights he ignored. His face hardened, Vietnam steel resurfacing. I'll handle it. Call in favors. Ted's got pull with Aurora PD. But favors are finite, and Jake's web spun wide. Emily escalated custody, subpoenaing my clinic records, seeking instability in patient notes, twisting compassion for the desperate into proof of my fractured psyche. The twins' visits? Frozen, her lawyer citing hostile environment. I saw them once, through a coffee shop window, blonde heads bent over iPads, oblivious to the war. My chest ached, a void where any hug should be. Mom reached out via letter, pinned in looping script from her Boulder retreat. Forgive me, Kenzie. I chose blindness over bravery. Jake's lost, but you're our light. Come visit. I did, driving the winding road to the facility, evergreens whispering secrets. She looked small in her room, chemo gaunt, but eyes clear, therapy's gift. We talked hours, tears salting the silence. Her regrets, my rage, the hail curse of burying sins under suburbia. You're not like us, she said, hand frail on mine. Stronger. But strength isolates, baby. Don't let it. Her words haunted as I left, the facility's gates clanging like judgments. Isolation? Yeah. Friends ghosted post-scandal, dates dried up, the city that once embraced me now eyed wary. But strength? It armored me for the storm Jake brewed. It broke the 20th, a Tuesday tempest. I was mid-shift at the clinic, suturing a construction worker's gash from a rebar slip, when Rosa burst in. Uncharacteristic, her heels echoing halls. He's here. Downtown. With them. Heart stuttered. Cops. Too late. Meet me at your place, now. I bailed early, excuses to the charge nurse, tires screaming into traffic. Lodo crawled, rush hour snarl, my mind racing scenarios. Drive-by, firebomb, or worse, kidnap, leverage for the files. Rosa waited in her Prius, laptop glowing. Live feed from a drone I rented, shady, but effective. Screen showed my building. 3 shadows in a panel van. Jake's profile unmistakable, gesturing sharp to a hulking figure with tats snaking his neck. Plan. I breathed. Confront. But smart. Record it. Stream if it goes south. We parked 2 blocks off, approached on foot, rain sheeting like veils. The van idled, exhaust fouling the air, hip-hop thumping low. Jake leaned against it, cigarette glowing, eyes locking mine as I neared. No shock. Ambush, pure. Kenzie, he drawled, flicking ash. Knew you'd come sniffing. The heavies flanked. Tito, bull-necked with a gold tooth. Razor, wiry and twitchy, hand in jacket pocket. Emily, absent, but her scent lingered in Jake's smirk. Miss me, bro? I kept distance, phone hidden recording in my coat. Or just the drama? He laughed, bitter bark. Drama? You wrote the script, nuked my life, scattered my family. Emily's suing for everything. Mom's a ghost. Dad's selling the firm to strangers. This, gesture to the goons. Insurance. You pull more levers, they pull triggers. Threat hung, electric. Tito cracked knuckles, a symphony of menace. Razor's pocket twitched. Gun? Knife? The street emptied. rain drumming isolation. My pulse thrummed, but clinic calm held. Assess, de-escalate. Triggers? Cute. But you're the one who started it. Embezzlement, the Christmas plot, the fake tape. I defended, you doubled down. His face twisted, rage, regret, flip fluid as ever. Defended? Bullshit. You loved it. The moral high, playing savior. Took the fall cause it made you special. The Hale who sacrificed. Well, guess what? Sacrifice gets you squat. Truth barbed, hooking deep. Special? Yeah. I'd worn the martyr like a crown, thorns and all. But love it. No, endured it for them. And you? Golden boy, flipping houses on dad's dime, snorting lines off escorts. Victim now. Tito shifted, growl low. Boss says wrap it. Jake waved him off, stepping closer, rain matting his hair. Last chance, sis. Retract everything. Tell the post it was lies. Drop the custody push. We rebuild. Family. The offer dangled, poison chalice. Rebuild? On what? More buried bodies. Mom's words echoed, strength isolates. But weakness? It devours. No, I said, voice steel. You rebuild clean, or not at all. His eyes darkened, the flip final, brother to beast. Then you're done. Razor lunged, pocket flashing steel, a switchblade, glinting wet. Time dilated, Rose's shout, my dodge, the blade whistling air. I countered instinct. Clinic moves, Krav Maga from jail self-defense, knee to his gut, elbow to throat. He crumpled, gasping. Tito charged, bull rush, but Jake hesitated, fractional, telling. I sidestepped, Rosa tackling low, her PI grit surprising. Sirens wail, dad's favor? Neighborhood watch? Chaos converged. Cops spilling from cruisers, barking orders, cuffs clicking like holiday bells. Jake bolted, van peeling rubber, but not before I saw it. His face, crumple of defeat. Not rage, sorrow, pure. Kinsey. They nabbed him 2 blocks over, per Rose's ping later. Tito and Razor to holding. Emily picked up on accessory. The twins? Placed with dad, my co-guardianship greenlit. Aftermath washed over like receding flood. Charges stacked. Assault. Conspiracy. The old frauds resurfacing. Mom visited the boys, healing in fragments. Dad sold the firm, retired to fishing in the Gunnison, his nod my absolution. Me? Cleared, but scarred. Clinic promoted me to supervisor, patients whispering the fighter. Dates? 1. With a paramedic who got the shadows. Life stitched, imperfect. But the twist, the debater's dagger, came in Jake's trial, for months on. Plea deal. 5 years federal, testimony against Emily's network. In the visitor's booth, pre-sentencing, he confessed final. The plan at Christmas? Not just humiliation. Emily's push to frame me fully, plant evidence, pin fresh embezzlement, send me back inside. He resisted, hence the half-baked video scheme. Meant to warn you oblique, he said, chains rattling. Stupid. But you were always the escape hatch. Escape. The word split souls. Was he redeemed, a flip to light? Or masterstroke, dragging me into debate? Hero or villain? Victim or vulture? Readers, post-commenters, forum fiends. Argued endless. Mackenzie's justice porn. Versus she lit the fuse, now cries innocent. Ending? No tidy bow. Jake shipped east. Mom mended slow. Twins called me Annie Fix. Dad's boat a sanctuary. Me? I stood on the Continental Divide one autumn dawn. Wind whipping leaves like confetti. The scar of betrayal a map to mercy. Happy? Tragic? You decide. Revenge's echo. No winners, just survivors, debating the cost under endless American skies. In the end, that Christmas Eve whisper birthed not ruin, but reckoning. And in its wake, I breathed freer. Chained no more, but forever marked by the breaks we mend and those we don't.